Hi, and welcome to Mr. Cohane's online lesson. This time what we're going to do is we're going to estimate products. Now, remember what we estimate is taking an educated guess. It doesn't have to be exact. When you estimate, it's rounding. When we're talking about products this time, we're going to be talking about multiplication. Okay? Remember, product equals multiplication. Let's move on. Okay, just a little bit of a rounding review. Most of you have been rounding since, well, probably as long as you can remember. I know you rounded in first grade dealing with numbers. If it's 5, we round up to 10. And then you probably continued all the way through 5th grade and now into 6th grade. I just want to make sure we have the steps of rounding down in our notes because it could help us. Okay, first what we're going to do, blank the digit to be rounded. I always underline. The digit to be rounded. Second, look at the digit to the right. If that digit to the right is blank or less, the underlined digit blank. Many of you probably know if it's 4 or below, it stays the same. 4 or less, the underlined digit stays the same. If it's blank or more, add 1 to the underlined digit. If it's 5 or more, I think probably you heard in 2nd grade or 3rd grade, 5 or above, give it a shove. Well, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just adding 1 more to give it that shove up. Last, what we're going to do is we're going to add zeros after the underlined digit. Okay? Here's our rounding steps. Again, just words. It'll make sense when we put it in practice. Let's try it. Okay. Typical question we'll see in class. It'll say, if I can ever get this erased. There we go. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to round to the nearest whole number. Okay, notice when I look at a question, what I do is I underline those key points that tell me what to do. Round to the nearest whole number. Remember, whole number, no decimals, no fractions, just a whole number. Okay, so in this case I have 8 7/10. But because we're going to round to the nearest whole number, remember, underline the digit to be rounded. Got it. Look to the right. Perfect. If that number is 5 or above, and it is, give it a shove. So in this case, it's 7. 8 will become a 9. Excellent. And then what do you do to the numbers to the right? You can just add 0. So it would be 9.0, which we know is just 9. Perfect. Let's try this one. 2 decimal point 8. We're rounding to the nearest whole number, so I underline it. I look to the right. Ooh, it's an 8. 5 or above, give it a shove. So let's do it. That 2 now becomes a 3. And to the right of it, we just add zeros. But of course, 3 decimal point 0 is just plain old 3. Got a tricky one down here. I want you to try that one on your own. Bring it to class. We'll talk about it. Let's look at another one. This time, what we're going to do is we're going to estimate each product. Boy, that's asking a lot. Estimate each product. It's 3 words, but a lot of steps. Remember when we estimate, we're looking for a round. We're just going guess. We're trying to get close. Remember when we're talking about product, we're talking about multiplication. Product is multiplication. So let's do it. What we first have to do is we have to take our 2 numbers, 9 decimal point 6 and 1 decimal point 8. What we have to do is first estimate. Let's do it. 9, Okay, underline 9 because that's what we're rounding. We're doing it to the nearest whole number. I look to the right. It's 6. 5 or above, give it a shove. Add 1 to it. That now 9 becomes a 10. Okay, here I have 1 decimal point 8, 1 8/10. I look to the right, that 1 now becomes a 2. Now, instead of 9 6/10 times 1 8/10, if we're estimating the product, 10, remember, because that's what we rounded it to, 1.8 is a 2. What we're really doing is just kind of, the answer is going to be close to 10 times 2. And of course, 10 times 2 times 2, that looks better. 10 times 2 is 20. So, when we're estimating a product, the answer would be 20. Okay. This one down here, I want you to try on your own. Remember the steps. Round the two numbers to the nearest whole number. Then multiply those two numbers, because it says product. Perfect. Okay. Next, when estimating products, sorry, just let me erase this. When estimating products, you may round to the greatest place value to make it easier to compute. When you're estimating, you're trying to make it easy on yourself. Now, this part can get a little bit tricky, and that's okay. That's why we're going to work on it in class, but I just want to introduce it to you now. I have 48 5/10 times 5 8/10. If the question asks us to estimate, we want numbers that are easy to work with. Otherwise, what's the point in estimating? So 48 5/10. I could round to the nearest whole number, but do you all know your 49s? I don't. So what number would it be easiest to work with? Well, I look and I say, 48. That's kind of close to 50. Well, let's see if it rounds that way. I'm going to try to round the tenths place. Ooh, and in that case, if I round 48, that would round up to 50. And 50 is kind of easy to work with. I know my 5s, I just add a 0. Let's look over here. Times, okay, 5.8. Well, not a lot to work with here. That one goes to the tens place. So let's round this to the nearest whole number. Underline, and that one would be 6. So we really have 50 times 6 when you're estimating. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. Therefore, we know the answer is going to be close to 300. Okay, I want you to try that one on your own. But first, I'll show you how to round. 68 4/10. Tough to work with. So what number, looking at that, 68, that's kind of hard to work with. So let me look at the next step. Ooh, what if I round the tenths place? Ooh, if I round the tenths place, that 68 would round up to 70. And look here, 21.3. 21's kind of hard to work with. So try to round the tenths place and figure out what you should multiply 70 by. Multiply those two estimated numbers and bring it to class, and we'll see you tomorrow.